I want to offer some guideposts to help you if you feel stuck, disgruntled, dissatisfied at work. I work with a lot of professionals who are in the law, like I work with a ton of lawyers, a lot of people in finance, a lot of people who are successful entrepreneurs that really feel dissatisfied at work, feel like something's missing. And through that work, and then of course through my own experiences, I practiced law at a big Manhattan-based law firm for years before I started this business. So I went through my own journey, kind of finding a career path that was better suited for me. And then continue, since then. That was 2009. It's 2014 now. So since then, I've continued to revisit what I'm doing to see if it is a good fit as I grow and change and learn. And my personal life drives my professional life largely. So my business changes as my needs personally change. And it's, the first time's a doozy, if you're going through this for the first time where you're like, I've just defaulted into this career. I defaulted into getting my MBA, or I defaulted into law school and the legal profession. The first time can feel rocky, but that's okay. I mean, the first time is always harder. But it's something you go through again and again. So if these 5 guideposts to help you on your journey are: first, if you feel unfulfilled, if you feel empty, lacking, something's missing, you're right. You should listen to that feeling, because the journey you take from that point will be worthwhile no matter your answers. Because your answers may not be that your career is the problem. It may be actually that you're not setting boundaries anywhere in your life. And so your lesson to learn is how to do that. And really, a change is not needed professionally. It's sort of a lifestyle change. It may be that you have not lived your life with a set of where your priorities in your life are the way you live your life does not reflect your actual priorities, right? So like the mismatch is somewhere. It may be job, maybe not. You don't know until you do the investigation. If you have that feeling, listen to it. The journey is worthwhile, and you will feel better at the other end of it. Your life will reflect who you are in a much more authentic way as a result of that. Number 2 is so varying degrees of discomfort. You may be like miserable, or you may have just low grade unhappiness that lives with you every single day. No matter where you are on the spectrum, this time, if you look, I mean, it is a long life for most of us. It is a big world out there. And this time is temporary. Where you are, you're within a parentheses in your life where things aren't matching up, and the work you're going to do to find out what you need to have the life you're kind of longing for, that you think, you hope might possibly exist. It does. I promise. It's probably not quite what you imagine it to be, but there's better for you. This is a special time. So that's number 2, is this is a special time. Special does not mean easy. It does not mean a fun cakewalk, but it's rich and it's good, and there's treasure there. And there's work to be done. And the more you're willing to see it as a special time where like the discomfort's temporary, the more you can kind of lean into anything that is a little bit uncomfortable, right? Because leading to point 3, you're going to require re-education. So the way you've been thinking, the way you've been living, all the things that have led up to this point have been driven almost entirely by you. So you've gotten yourself here. And that frequently stated quote, or it's always on Pinterest and stuff, is like, the thinking that got you here won't get you out of here. I think it's an Albert Einsteinism. I like bastardized that, but it's something like that. But it's true. I mean, the way you've approached living is going to need to change. So you have to reflect upon what has been motivating you, whether it's money or power or safety, making other people happy, and is it really fulfilling for you to live this way? Then what's going to need to change? And so the re-education process, in a way, there's just going to be discomfort. Change is just uncomfortable because there are parts of you that are invested in the status quo. That's all change. That's the most positive change on the planet, has parts of you invested in that negative situation, that are invested in the status quo. And in order to re-educate yourself, right? Not only do you have to look at the way you've been doing things, but you have to get new information. So that's like reading books from people that you respect. It's finding teachers. If you go to my shop, you can find all kinds of recordings to download to listen to in the morning on your way to work or while you're taking a walk. Finding those resources to re-educate how you might want to think about your life in a different way is invaluable and as a guidepost in this process. Number 4, almost done. At the end of the day, if you're dissatisfied at work and it's not working for you, your journey is a journey inward. Because how are you going to know when you find something that is better for you unless you know yourself a little bit better, right? In order to make those decisions, if you need change, if you don't need change, identifying really what you want, you have to know yourself. You have to know your preferences. And as much as you may think you know yourself now, you can always go deeper. And if things are off in your life, that's the place to return to go deeper inside yourself. Because that's going to inform, why is this not working for you? I mean, you're the variable that makes this equation not work. So why? Why is this not working for you? To journey inward towards into yourself and your own preferences. No matter how well you've known yourself in the past, that journey is constant. I mean, I referenced that this process I did it once when I was a lawyer, and I constantly do it again and again and again. And it's because I'm alive. I'm a living thing, like a plant or like an animal, like a wild animal. We grow, we change. There are seasons in our life. And that's never going to stop. So to keep up with that, your current identity takes work and takes going inward. I feel like I've said that 14 times. Okay, finally, 5th is probably the most important, and that's a Barbara Scherism. Barbara Scher, Sher, is a good teacher for re-education purposes. She's a good place to go to. She's a teacher and a guru, author, speaker, and she says, dreams die alone. Dun, dun, dun. It's kind of a severe way to put that. But I know for me, like, I worked really hard in law school and I worked better alone. And I was very driven at work and I wasn't like the best team member. And I wasn't really used to asking for help, but I never really been brought to my knees in a way where I had to. But then when I just couldn't get anywhere on my own in terms of really making changes in my life, and I got to this point where I was like, I just don't know if I can do this anymore. I might just have to walk out, because getting up and coming to this job is like, it's like walking on hot coals through, fiery hail. It's just like everything in me does not want to do this, and yet I don't know what else to do. And that dark, dark, dark place is what brought me to get help. I got a coach. The quickest way to make changes in your life is to hire a private coach, period. A good one. I got a therapist. Also, get a good one that you resonate with. And that helped me tremendously, because I had some healing to do. And I began to re-examine friendships, right? So like, I wouldn't talk about my dreams of working for myself, starting a business in a recession, with my law firm friends, because they had the exact same fears, the same like mind dungeon that was keeping me stuck is keeping all the other lawyers I worked with stuck. And we're all reinforcing that. So they're like not a good audience for my dreams, right? They're just going to be scared. It's going to trigger all that for me. So getting support either through friends is a great resource if you have those people in your life. And if you don't, throw money at the problem. Find a way to get people in your life that are absolutely rooting for your best interest and wanting for you what is good. Because ultimately, if you put mirrors up all around yourself, 360 degrees, there is no way you could look at any point and see the big picture. And that's just, if you're the one in your life, you can't see all angles. So you need people outside of you to give you feedback, to tell you the truth, to give you perspective. And that is the way to finally move forward. Otherwise, you're like this in your head all day long. I did it for years. And I have to watch out for it because I have a tendency to isolate. So, joining online groups, come to my live events, do my workshops. All of this stuff is on my website. You can go to, it's lauriegay.com, LAURIEGAY.com, lauriegay.com. And that's the best way to pull some of these resources for yourself as you figure this stuff out. And of course, you can contact me that way as well. And that's it. I mean, I'd say at the end of the day, if you're telling yourself the truth, you're on the right trajectory. Be honest about how you feel about work and the people there and the work you're doing and all that stuff, because it is in the details. That is where you'll find some of your best treasure in figuring this out. So that's all from me today. I hope this finds you well. And if you have questions or comments, if you want to work with me, go to my website, contact me there. And that's all for today. Take care. Bye.